Good evening and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting for April 9th, 2019. It is approximately 7:10 p.m. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Roll call. Sharon, please.
Mayor Griessock.
Here.
Mrs. Gatos.
Here.
Mr. Poach.
Here.
Mr. Harvey.
Here.
Mr. Johns. Mr. Arasinko. Mr. Duncan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Little.
Here.
Mr. Ratcher.
Here.
Ms. Rock. Mr. Hugus.
Here.
Mr. Sedlak.
Here.
Mr. Weldon.
Here. Councilman Arasinko wanted me to let everyone know he is not here this evening. He is actually, unfortunately, in the hospital, but he is in good spirits. He is feeling better, but he was sorry that he had to miss it, and he was upset that they didn't have Channel 15 in the hospital, believe it or not. But he's doing fine, and he just wanted to let everybody know that he wanted to be here. So we're going to move to our public comment on proposed agenda items only. Agenda items only. If there's anyone who'd like to speak about the agenda, we always ask that you keep a 5-minute time limit on your comments to keep the meeting moving forward. So
For all the rest of the people who are commenting behind me.
we like to be consistent.
Okay.
So if you could just sign in
Yeah,
and state your
Georgiana
name for the
Woodhall,
record, that'd be great.
I did sign in. I'd like to take a minute, just thank Paul and Paul for giving me a copy of that 70-page stormwater ordinance that's on the agenda tonight. I was particularly interested in looking at the ownership and maintenance part of that ordinance. And I'd just like to ask, as a follow-up to Mr. Little, to go along with that. You stated that you were going to be checking with across the Commonwealth to see about the maintenance between PennDOT. And I know that, you was at a convention at Seven Springs. Were you able to talk to anybody there as to how they handled the situation?
I talked to a few people, Georgianne, but nothing definitive on it. And this decision is, my understanding is this decision is made by the Secretary of Transportation in Pennsylvania. And that's about all, whether or not he has the authority to do that. And I do believe, my personal opinion, he's going to be challenged on it greatly.
Okay.
But
do you know who that is?
Richards, I think his last, Richards, I think it is.
Leslie Richards
Leslie
is
Richards,
I believe, though, that the actual person who made the decision was the chief counsel. I don't know his name, but I think it's actually, an opinion was admitted. I'm trying to get a copy of the opinion.
Okay,
actually.
when was that determined?
I don't know exactly, but I think it was more than just a few months ago.
Okay, where does that leave the municipality then?
We don't have all the information yet to determine. Actually, what I want to see is the chief counsel's opinion.
Okay,
And we are trying to get that, and we don't have it yet.
okay.
And I also have a call into the Pennsylvania Boroughs Association to see what information they have, because they're the association of boroughs across the Commonwealth. And they have, they're up on Capitol, or, in Harrisburg, in the Capitol all the time. And, seeing what their information is other boroughs having problems with this, where they have to maintain the stormwater boroughs like Pitcairn and Wilmerding that don't have the resources, and we don't have the resources to to do the stormwater. Traffic control is the big issue on Route 22. So right now, we're in an investigation stage, is where we are.
Okay, well, as I said, that document, that puts the municipality, that state law, highway law from 1945, that puts you in a position, that you kind of have to fix those facilities. Who enforces that?
I would imagine PennDOT would.
Okay. Okay, I noticed, I had a survey crew on my property last Friday, and at that time, I noticed that there was PennDOT trucks on Forbes Road and a group of surveyors on Forbes. Do you know, and they were there also again today, surveying Forbes, down Forbes Road towards Old Ramsey. Do you know why they were there or what they were doing? I couldn't leave my house, I'm not in position to leave my house, so I don't know why they were there. I did call Brandon Markosik, and he was in Harrisburg, and they didn't know why they were on.
I do not. Mr. Hugus, did you have any reports?
No, I already talked to Georgiana. I do not know why they were there.
Okay. We do not know.
Um,
Do you have any other comments regarding
Could
the
you find
agenda?
out? Can you find out for me as far as?
Do we have a contact? Are we able to find that out?
I will inquire tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I also just wanted to ask again, are you be voting to put the appeal board in? The members of the appeal
evening.
board?
Yes.
Okay, and mine, appeal has to be filed by April 15th. So is there any sort of, as I said, like a tip sheet that, like the county gave, that what you could bring, what you should bring, what you can do, what you cannot do?
No, we do not have that, Georgianne. I'm
Okay,
afraid
well,
not.
can I then delay it by a few minutes, or by a few days, or how do we do
Well,
that?
I think we just, I think what's reasonable.
Yeah, I
is-
just
Or
submit
what
a
do you
So
letter.
do?
just so we know that you're appealing, I think that's the main thing.
Or if I can just appeal it and then ask for an extension?
That might work.
Yeah.
I think that's
as
a good
long
way
as
to
you appeal
handle
before
it.
April 15th.
Yeah, put the
the-
appeal in and then ask for an
Yeah,
extension.
Okay, and I just want to bring up one other item. Whoever was responsible, Linda, I think you might have had a part in it, for those speed humps on Coffee Street. Long overdue. I mean, I actually witnessed people, it's not that they're not using it, but they're slamming on the brake, to slow down, so, thank you.
You're welcome.
They were a long time coming.
Yes, they were.
Any other comments regarding proposed agenda items? We're going to close that portion of the meeting and move over to the regular council meeting. I have an executive session announcement that council conducted an executive session for personnel and litigation reasons prior to Citizens Night, Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019, beginning at 6:30 p.m. until 7 p.m., and before tonight's council meeting, beginning at 6:40 p.m. until 7:05 p.m. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at the April 9th, 2019 council meeting this evening. Council, we're going to look over the minutes of Citizens Night meeting of March 7th, 2019, council work session of March 7th, 2019, and the regular council meeting of March 12th, 2019. These were presented to you at our work session last Tuesday. I am seeking a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or additions or corrections, council? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
What's in these guys?
Mr. Harvey?
Down here.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
The ayes have it. Council, the reports of the tax collections. I would like to seek a motion to approve.
Motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any comments?
No, sir.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. I could listen outside. Excuse me.
You're fine, Mr. Prince. List of bills and budget transfers. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, council?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that when we approve the monthly list of bills, are we also approving the list of bills for MS4?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's my only question.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And our payroll report, council, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Motion to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And just for everybody that's watching, all these items were reviewed at the April 2nd work session or agenda-setting meeting. Council, we're moving over to our vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities. It's in your packet in the blue, on the blue paper. Mrs. Gatos, anything this evening?
Yes, I need to appoint Dan Gerhardt to the one-year seat on the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals.
So you're making a motion to appoint.
Correct.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And then I will make an appointment for Mr. Ed Deal for the two-year term to the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals.
That's a motion to appoint. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That's it this evening. Thank you.
Mr. Poach.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Joe Story to the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals for the 3-year term.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else, Mr. Poach?
No, sir.
Mr. Harvey.
Yes, I would like to nominate, well, should I wait until I got to Mr. Wilson?
Mayor, I am giving my nomination to Mr. Harvey for the
The vacancies.
Planning Commission. Yeah, for the vacancy in the Planning Commission.
Okay, so there's a vacancy for Ward 7,
Yes,
but you are deferring it to
I am
Mr.
deferring
Harvey.
it to Mr. Harvey.
Okay, so Mr. Harvey, do you have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Bob Stevenson from Cottage Lane to the vacancy on the Planning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else, Mr. Harvey?
No.
Mr. Duncan?
I have nothing.
Mr. Wilson? Other than that?
I'm good. Thank
Very
you.
good. Council, we're moving over to the bids and proposals. It's in the white section of the packet. Mr. Little.
As we discussed Thursday evening at the work session, council has the list of commodity bids that we have this year for stone, aggregate, aluminum blanks for signs. And the only issue that I brought to council's attention is the letter from Osborne Company of Logan, Ohio, that they could not meet the requirements of the 2018 prices in a letter dated, that I get council has in their packet. Well, there is no date on
No,
that.
it's not
isn't.
dated.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, it's
no-
not dated, but we did receive this approximately in the beginning of March, because there's an email that I have to my secretary, Dara, about putting it into the file. It's dated March 10th, so we got this, Mike Adams told me about this maybe about 2-3 days before that. So council indicated that they did not want to award the aluminum blanks to them, but Vulcan was the only other company, in that if you make a motion across the board to award to the low bidders, except for Osborne, everything else would go to Vulcan. Any comments, questions on that?
No, I'd like to make that motion to award the bids to the low bidder, except for the company that submitted the letter,
Osborne.
Osborne Associates.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Is everyone clear on that explanation?
Well, it only makes sense if they can't accommodate,
Right.
then how could you vote for them? So it makes sense to,
The ones that we're voting for, where are they located, Tim?
Logan, Ohio, Vulcan, I'm sorry, Vulcan is in, well, their main company is in Foley, Alabama.
Okay, now, do we have to pay shipping and freight on this?
Everything is inclusive in the price.
Oh,
the
everything's
price you
included.
see,
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
So we have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments, council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving over to our consent agenda, new business, 19-1-SUB, Jonathan and Natalie Hizzy. Mr. Little.
Applicants requesting a preliminary and final subdivision approval of tax parcel 544S364. Applicant proposes to reduce the size of the lot 544S364 from .803 acres to .676 acres and increase the size of lot 5447355 from .303 acres to .430 acres. The address of lot 1R is 818 Patton Street in the R2 one-family residential zoning district. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions, council? And we did review this at the April 2nd meeting, just for everyone watching. We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there a roll call, please?
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little.
Okay, the applicant is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval of tax parcel 742D354. Applicant proposes to create two lots from lot number 1 into lot number 1R and lot number 2R. The address of lot 2R is 3962 Logan's Ferry Road in the R2 one-family residential zoning district. The Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving over to our motions, we have one this evening. Mr. Little.
Okay, this is a motion to authorize to advertise the vacant and abandoned properties ordinance, which council discussed with Solicitor Ratcher on Thursday at the work session.
Motion.
There's a motion to approve.
Second.
Can you explain this?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Okay. Mr. Ratcher, do you want to explain it, please?
Yes, one of the problems in the municipality, obviously, is with vacant or blighted properties. And what happens is, in many cases, it just directly goes to the owner. Somebody owns it, they're not taking care of it. There's another situation that happens that's equally compelling, and it's more difficult, and that is a mortgage company decides to foreclose on the property, or the residents abandon it and the mortgage company doesn't foreclose on it, although they have rights. And they do not do anything relative to keeping the property up, even though in reality they are the owner.
Right.
The purpose of this ordinance is to create a registry whereby the abandoned and vacant properties will have to be registered. And there are ways, and we're going to talk about this next month before you consider passing it, to get all these lending institutions into this master registry, so to speak. And from there, you'll be able to know who the contact person is in the event that you determine that that property needs to be taken care of. So it won't just be a thing of, well, we keep writing letters to Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo doesn't respond. It's just another tool in the toolbox. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's not going to solve all the problems. But it is going to address a problem that's very prevalent with regard to properties which people have walked away from.
Well, what right does that give us then at that point, once we, advertise the vacant and abandoned properties?
Well, once you
Are
act
we
on the
able, are
ordinance.
we able to, I have one on Snowball,
Yes.
and it's been like that for years. And people just walked away from it, and we're cutting the grass, but, the place is just terrible.
It will give the municipality the right to take legal action directly against the party that's the mortgage holder, in this case, like a Wells Fargo or a
Right.
PNC
Well,
mortgage.
this
whomever.
company's out of Texas, and they
Right.
ignore everything that we do.
Well, and one of the drawbacks to that is that we're limited in how far we can go with legal action relative to those parties, because we don't have an ordinance like this in effect. This ordinance has really been adopted in many municipalities with some success. Again, it's not the be-all, end-all.
Right, right.
But it is helpful. It's another
Right.
tool
Terrific.
to try to battle against this problem.
Right, thank you,
Sure.
yeah.
Very good. Any other comments or questions, council? So the motion is to approve the advertising so we can discuss this ordinance next month. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye,
The ayes have it. Resolutions. We have 3 this evening. Mr. Little.
Yeah, the first one is a resolution adopting the Fox Plan Apartments sewage planning model.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion with Mr. Harvey and a second with Mr. Wilson. Any comments, council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little.
Okay, the second one is a resolution exonerating the real estate tax collector from collection of uncollected taxes for the year 2018. We discussed this on Thursday, and that amount is $177,992.36.
Motion.
We have a motion to approve
Second.
Discuss that on
and a second.
Your Tuesday, that's right. I'm sorry, you're right.
Any other comments or?
This is a housekeeping item,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
And have we yet put the list up on our website?
I believe it should be up there. I haven't
Okay.
looked. I mean,
Great.
it was taken, yeah, I think it should be on the
And
website.
these basically were taxes that were due by April of last year, correct?
Well, they were, as with most, the initial taxes go out in, I believe it's May for the discount period, or April for the discount period. Then there's a face period, and then there's a penalty period.
Right.
And I believe that's July. Then after that, there's a notice sent out after that. And then if they don't pay the taxes by the end of the year, then that's when the property.
So
then that-
just so everyone understands, this isn't the current taxes, this is like all from
This is from
over a
last-
year ago,
well-
and they still have not been paid.
And most of them probably are recurring,
Yes, so,
you know.
yeah.
Yes, and they've definitely had notices. This
More
isn't
no-
just,
yeah,
these
plenty
aren't
of time,
surprises.
notifications, yes, to get it taken care of.
And also, too, we are not forgiving these taxes. You're exonerating the tax collector so then they can go to a delinquent tax collector so that we
Correct.
can change the type of collection. But they're still going to be collected, or we're still going to be pursued to be collected.
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments, council? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Wilson?
The ayes have it. Mr. Little.
Okay, number 3 is a resolution recognizing the Monroeville Soccer Club as a civic and/or service association under the Local Options Small Games of Chance Act as amended. As I explained to council last Tuesday, they would have to apply to the county for a license, which they would have to produce their Pennsylvania Department of Revenue 501c3 certification. I have asked the lady who has emailed me about this for that, and I have not received it, so it's up to council how they want to proceed on this.
Well, I would make a motion to table until you receive that.
I would have to agree with that. Oh, wait.
So there's-
Can we
there's-
defer to our solicitor?
I would recommend, I believe that their documents are in order, it's just a housekeeping matter. I would recommend that you approve it if you're inclined to do so, contingent upon them showing us the documentation that we need. We're controlling the strings here. We're not going to sign the resolution and move it forward until such time as
that
they
is
show us what we
produced.
want to see.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'll change that.
So, Mr. Harvey, is there a motion to approve based on Mr. Ratcher's explanation?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any other comments, council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving over to our ordinances, we have one this evening. Mr. Ratcher, please.
This is an ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville repealing ordinance number 2541 and adopting new comprehensive stormwater management provisions for the Municipality of Monroeville pursuant to the Stormwater Management Act, 32 PS Section 680.1. And this is a matter presently on the table. It's council's desire to act on it. Mayor, you should first entertain a motion to take it off the table.
And I will entertain that. Mr. Hugus, your department is ready for this?
Yes, we reviewed it. We had made some clerical corrections to the original ordinance and added one additional paragraph. Outside of that, it's good to go.
Okay.
So a motion to remove from table?
Yes, so you're making a motion?
Yes.
Could I have a second on that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to remove from the table. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Very good. So now, is there a motion to approve the item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions, council?
Just a quick comment. I haven't seen it. I bet I hear it's 70 pages.
Yes, sir. I'll be more than happy to give it to you.
Yeah, I know, but tonight's the vote. But, okay, I trust you. That's all I have.
So there's a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Poach.
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The ayes have it. That does it for our ordinances. We're going to go to our reports of municipal staff. Mr. Ratcher, if you have something this evening.
I have one item, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Last month, council passed ordinance number 2699, which amended the master parking ordinance and restricted parking on a portion of East Patty Lane in Turnpike Gardens. Due to additional feedback from the affected people, some discussion with Mr. Johns and some discussions I've had with some of you, I've prepared an ordinance to repeal ordinance 2699, which if advertised and eventually passed, would take things back to the way they were before the restrictions were adopted. So at this time, I'm asking for council's approval to have the manager advertise the repeal ordinance, which can then be acted upon by council at your pleasure.
Can I make a comment? Mr. Johns is requesting that we do go along with this. That's my understanding.
He is, and he's on vacation, and
And he's on
he
vacation.
talked to me, and I agreed to
Right.
put it forward.
Put it
to him.
forward.
I'll
and
make
I-
a motion.
so-
I'll second
We
it.
have a motion and a second, and there's a vote for the affirmative is just to advertise it. As far as taking action on it, that wouldn't happen until next month.
Right.
So we
But
have a
this
motion.
is what Mr. Johns wants in his word.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the advertisement. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Poach.
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Rapture, do you have anything else this evening?
Nothing further.
Very good. Mr. Little.
Yeah, a couple items. As I have mentioned the last couple of months, summer employees, college students, applications are due April the 22nd. Okay, if anybody is interested, need people for,
How's that coming along, Tim?
Mr. Sedlak would be able to answer that better than
They're
I.
trickling in. We're getting some now. I mean, the kids will be home for Easter next week, so hopefully we'll get some more. So,
Okay. So, how many spots are we trying to fill?
depends on how many come in. I mean, that's, you know, you each get,
20 to 25?
yeah,
20 to 25?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
So-
We have budget.
And what level are we at right now?
That's 20 to
Three,
24.
three.
For
for each.
Public Works, we
16,
we probably have about 10 for Public Works right now.
How
I'd
many?
say 10.
Okay.
So, yeah, we need some more
Yeah.
Public Works men.
So my suggestion was last week that we go to the high school
Right.
and talk to Mr. Short and maybe set up a little table in the cafeteria and try to recruit a little bit.
Mrs. Warner.
Joe's looking into that.
I emailed the ad to the principal of Gateway, and I asked him to post it where he could.
Yeah, but then you have to follow up with a phone call, make sure he's,
I'll talk
I
to
mean,
him.
that's how you have to do these things.
I know.
Okay, but it wouldn't hurt to set up in the cafeteria, have a sign there, and, tell these guys and girls that there's a job available for them if they qualify.
I'll talk to
Mr.
Mr.
Little?
Stevens.
What do you
Yeah.
think? Huh?
No, yeah, fine,
All right.
yeah.
When and who is going to do it?
But I just asked the question though, but they have to be college students.
They have
Yeah.
to be
Well, they have to be
graduating
seniors.
They have to be
Seniors,
seniors right now.
Graduating.
Yeah,
Graduating
seniors and
Graduating
headed to
seniors.
college, yes.
18, not seniors.
Well, graduating 18, they can't be in 10th grade.
Yeah, they have to be graduating seniors, Tom.
Yeah,
Do they have to be 18 as well?
okay. Can we get a timeline on this, or,
Well, we'd have to do it before April the 22nd.
I'm sorry?
We'd have to do it before, we have to see what Bill Short says.
Joe,
the,
can you
super-
call
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
right, so that
principal.
was my recommendation.
Yeah,
Has this
What the
been,
heck,
has this
we're in the
been
crowd.
sent to Gateway as far as in
be one of those that got
Backpack
up
or
in the
Skyward, the online flyer distribution.
I don't know.
We're
Like
gonna
I
have-
said, I just sent the email after Mr. Wilson made the recommendation. I emailed to add to the principal gateway that
Okay.
next day, so.
Very good.
Yeah, give a call, find out, what,
I will call
what
him
he's,
tomorrow.
what he's talking about. I'm sorry Pete Murphy isn't here, because I know Pete would take care of it right away. So, okay, thank you.
Mr. Little.
Okay, just as a reminder, the document destruction day is April the 27th, 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Monroeville Community Park East, not at the Community Park West, which is the park with the amphitheater. It's going to be the same day as the cleanup day, but it's going to be the park further east on Tilbrook Road. And with that in mind, Mr. Sedlak, you had an idea the other day we're discussing. I did mention it to couple council members.
Yeah, it seems to me that sometimes the Monroeville parks get confused because there's east and west. I always thought it'd be a good idea to actually change the name of Old Monroeville Park to something else, then we'll never have that problem again. And I left it with Tim and something for you guys to consider. I don't think it'd be an issue changing the name to anything but Monroeville Park, and something to
More
think about.
defining, that's all.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Something to.
We could call
something
Tim
to-
Little on one and Joe Sedlak on the other.
Yeah, but my understanding from Joe is that there's an ordinance that is prohibiting, which ordinances can be repealed or modified, prohibiting councils from naming parks after people.
Well, that's,
I mean,
Something to consider.
it's something to consider.
I mean, look into it.
Okay.
I don't,
But you're right, it can be confusing as
I think
far
if
as-
you try,
Board.
I think if you try to name it after people, you're gonna, hurt a lot of feelings along the way.
Not if you call
So-
it Gatos Gardens, you won't.
Pardon me?
Not if you call it Gatos Gardens, you wouldn't hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
Tilbrook Park.
Yeah, why don't we stick with something like that? Maybe
Yeah,
Tilbrook
well-
Park. That might be a
Tilbrook
safer
Park,
one.
Yeah, but you have two on Tilbrook, so. Yeah, anyway,
let's-
go ahead.
Maybe we'll talk to the Recreation Advisory
Yeah.
Board, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and see if they have some information,
let-
see if ideas, and then
Put
we
it
can
in
look.
put it in their basket and let them run with it.
Yeah, we can
Sure,
look at the
Pete,
other
for
names
that.
of our other parks and maybe find something that falls in line with those. I think it's a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh,
Mr. Little?
no, that concludes my report.
Hey.
Okay. Mr. Hugus, anything this
You
evening?
didn't go to the doorstep recycling and electronic.
Ooh, I missed that. Okay. Well.
Something else, Mr. Little?
Oh, yeah, I was on number 2. The doorstep hazardous and electronic waste recycling. For those people that are interested in that, we will have that on our website for ECS&R, and there will be a link that you can call, email, and as I mentioned in the past month, they need approximately 40 properties, considering the size of Monroeville. It might be 30, might be 50, for them to come out here and come to your doorstep way. It's going to cost the same amount per pound to get rid of a large TV, or if you have hazardous paint, turpentine and things of that nature to get rid of. It's going to be the same price as it would be if you'd go to the event that we just had, I think, on Saturday down at the Public Works. So that will be, look for that on the website, because they're in the process right now of getting the infrastructure in place to do that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We're going to open up the comment section for public comment on any municipal item. If there's anyone here to address council on any municipal item, now would be your time. Seeing none, we're going to close that portion of the meeting and move over to our council reports. Mrs. Gatos, anything this evening?
Yes, I want to remind everyone on Election Day that there will be an election food drive. It's feeding the community, non-perishables. We'll go to our food banks. The flyer's up and shown right now. So, try and remember to bring something when you go to vote. Help someone out is always a good thing. Secondly, my best wishes to Greg Arasinko as he goes through what he's going through, and for patience for his family. We all need that when it comes to Greg. And happy Easter to everyone. Have a safe holiday. Enjoy your families.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. Poach.
Nothing extensive, Your Honor, just, again, hope Mr. Arsenko feels better, to do that soon. And again, happy Easter and happy Passover for everyone that starts.
I forgot Passover.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Harvey?
Believe it or not, I have nothing except Greg, get better, but not too fast.
Yeah.
I don't miss your 7:30 a.m. calls.
Very good. Mr. Duncan?
Just three things. Hey, my condolences to the Marshall Bond family. He was our manager for many years, and the loss of his daughter, young daughter Heather.
Give that to Tim.
And also Al Willis, a former sewer foreman with 30-plus years on the borough. He just passed away also. And lastly, I've received two emails in regards to an alleged child being approached at Bellwood Park. And further, I've heard nothing of this. I'm not a big Facebook follower or anything, but I hear it's out there. There was one at Garden Park, I believe. That there was something turned into the police. As far as talking to the manager, he informed me that there was no police report at the Bellwood location. So whether that's just hearsay or what's going on there, I don't know, but I wanted to respond to those people. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to address an issue at the senior center that I think needs to be taken care of by the municipality as soon as possible. I believe we need a gate at the entrance to the the senior center, because when there's an event at the high school or the other schools, there's an overflow of parking that they park in the parking lots at the senior center. And during football games and things like that, it becomes a place for the young folks to go and visit with each other.
Good way of putting it, Tom.
Yeah. And there's always garbage left over and different things like that. And this would help protect our senior center. Not that anything has been taken or anything like that or broken into. However, this would eliminate a lot of issues that could happen.
Are you wanting a gate to be closed only like in the evening for with
Well,
other events?
well, I would
Otherwise,
say-
who's going to open and close it all the time?
Pardon me?
I said otherwise. You don't mean one that's there like closed all the time that would have to be open and closed.
No.
So you mean like
Like when no one's there.
chained and locked when the senior
Right,
center
like
closes?
the gate like we have at the parks.
Okay.
And that just
And who
reaches
would be
across.
responsible for that?
Pardon me?
Who would be responsible for closing, locking that?
Well, of course, we would ask Chief Golf. He would make sure that was taken care of.
Right. The police department?
I think they do the parks too, don't they?
No, there's people that do those.
Pardon me?
That's what- No, there's people that do those, the parks
Okay, well-
individually. That's why I'm asking. I'm not. I'm
Yeah, that's a
making
good
sure I
question,
understand.
yeah.
There's some
I haven't
questions to be
considered
answered.
that, but I'm sure
Yeah.
that we can find someone that would be,
Yeah, we pay someone to close the parks.
Yes, we
Okay,
do. And you have
okay.
to pay, to open
Yeah.
and close them.
okay.
So we could.
So we could check
for
into that.
discussion.
Why don't we have
But
Tara
I
get
think
a
it's
break?
really important that we are able to put that gate up to protect our property. I'm throwing that at the council. Then, Mr. Little, I would like you to explain the percentage that we are required to maintain for the fund balance.
Well, you and I talked the
Yeah.
other day, Tom. It's not a requirement as far as law or anything of that nature, but the GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, they recommend that you keep a 20% fund balance of your general fund. And we're fortunate the last couple of years to be able to do that. Most communities do not keep that. That's a recommendation. They used to have it years ago, 5%. It's the same as running your own budget at home. You always need a little bit for a rainy day because you never know what's going to happen, i.e. Cabot Road. So that's a recommendation that comes from the GFOA, which, like I said, it's not anything statutory. It's a recommendation on how to run the government.
I know with the school board, we had to maintain a certain percentage of our budget for the fund balance. That was
School
I
code.
believe it was a state law.
Okay, that might have been in the school code.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And I have one more thing. Mr. Osenko, hope you're feeling better. Get well, come home, and get back to work.
Very good. And
Thank you.
And as far as Tom's comments about the gate, there is a Public Works employee that comes at the senior center prior to it opening up. So that employee could easily unlock the gate in the
Would you
morning.
put it at the top of the library, where the library starts, or all the way down where, 'cause it really, I'm thinking
At the
that's
bottom.
our properties as well, so it should be affecting both of them.
Right at the
If-
top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it, you'd have to put it at the top.
Well, yeah, it's up to wherever, yeah.
But I mean, that's just
I don't have an
trying to
issue with that.
open up the dialogue about it.
Yeah, that's a good point,
Yeah.
because then they come down there and park.
Yeah,
Right.
if you got it to there,
Right.
they're still gonna come in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But the library has different hours.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's where, yeah.
I'll take it to
But
the
yeah,
library
but
board.
it's,
But maybe, yeah, Eric's saying he will talk to the
I'll
library
talk
as
to the
well, and see
library
what they
about it,
think.
Tom, and see what
Yeah.
there is too, but
But,
it's mostly for
there's
events.
There's also
You're fine.
another parking lot
To the side of,
adjacent
for the library.
to the library.
Yeah.
So you need two gates.
Yeah, but the problem with the.
I'll
par-
close them, just pay me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The problem with the parking lots to the left of the library is
Well,
there's some of.
I
the
think
school
Linda's
districts.
correct, right there at the stop sign.
Yeah.
If you do it there, you eliminate anything that is overflow from the school district completely.
But
And-
your point, Tom, is mostly for events you're talking about, not every day, not all the time.
No, I'm talking every day,
Oh, okay, all right,
every day. Because,
okay, I'll get you there.
at night, I don't know how many or if they do, but I would venture to say you could go in there on any given night and there would be a car or two sitting there.
Why don't we ask our police to just do a little drive-by?
Yeah,
Well, let's discuss this further, but you could put a gate
Yeah.
down at the stop sign before you go to the senior. So that's a little more secluded back there. Whereas
Right.
that side parking lot of the library,
Right.
it is kind of out in the
right.
open.
Are there lights back there?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Are they on at night? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, too. Yeah.
So, Mr. Little, if you could talk with library,
Well, actually, Mr. Poach said he was
I'll
gonna
take care, I'll
discuss
check
it
with
at his
their
next
hours
meeting.
too, and see what they're.
Okay.
I'll
See
see
how
them
they-
tomorrow.
what
well, then talk
Well-
to Nicole and talk to Tara and.
Well,
see
if
what
we
they're-
have that worker that does open the senior center, then he could open the gate, excuse me, and what time does he open the senior center? Around 7 a.m. or earlier? Yeah, could be earlier, so it wouldn't interfere with the library at all.
Who's going to close it?
Pardon me?
Who's going to close it? You'd have to close it prior to opening.
Yeah, well,
It'll be an
whoever,
employee. The first
Yeah.
employee in, last employee out.
Okey-doke.
yeah,
Somebody has to lock the door at night.
Yeah.
So whoever locks the door also locks the gate.
okay. Well, consider it, please, and we can talk about it. Thank you.
That's all you have for this evening? That's everything?
Done.
We're good?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about the Monroeville Recreation Department. They have their Easter events coming up, their spring extravaganza. All of these events can be found on the Monroeville website and the Recreation Department website. There's also flyers at the Municipality Library Senior Center. In the morning on Saturday, April 13th at 8 a.m., they have their 5K Rabbit Fun Run at the community park. Pre-registration is encouraged. It's $15 per runner. You can register at the Monroeville Recreation Department Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is also a few egg hunts same day. They have their at 10:15 a.m., 10:15 to 11:30 is the annual Easter egg hunt at the baseball complex at the community park. No pre-registration is required whatsoever. We're also having a special needs egg hunt starting before that at 10 a.m. Parents are allowed on the field with their children, and it's a free event, but the pre-registration is is required for the event by calling the Recreation Department, 412-856-1006. And the annual doggy egg hunt that afternoon, Saturday, April 13th at 2:30 p.m. at the Heritage Park Dog Park. Bring your dog on a leash and bring a basket to collect eggs in. And that is a free event as well, but pre-registration is required with that as well. So a handful of events coming up this Saturday, April 13th, at the Community Park and at Heritage Park. And I have a book here that I was given to me by one of our community members, an 11th grader here at Gateway. This young lady, Megan McCafferty, she put this book together as part of her Girl Scout Gold Award project. I'll just read a brief snippet of it. The Girl Scout Gold Award is the highest award a Girl Scout can earn. To get the Gold Award, one must identify a community issue that is meaningful, design a plan to address the community issue, and then take action to affect the community issue. My Gold Award issue deals with preserving the stories of men and women who have served our country. Many veterans have amazing, heroic stories to tell, and unfortunately, those stories can be lost as the years pass and the veterans fail to pass them on to others. So, Ms. McCafferty, she interviewed several veterans in the area and compiled a book for her award. And I just can't say enough of how impressed I am, and what a tremendous individual we have here, a student, an 11th grader here in Gateway. I couldn't be prouder of her, but we wish her the best. And
Are they available, Mayor? Are they available to?
I believe there are some copies at the library. As far as for sale, I'm not quite certain. Actually, I just got this very recently. But Freedom is Not Free. It's a compilation of veteran stories by Megan McCafferty. But we are, this community is super proud of Megan, and we wish her the best with all of her endeavors
Nice.
at Gateway and Girl Scouts.
Very
So
good.
kudos to her.
Very nice.
Kudos to her. I want to express my condolences too to the Al Willis family. I had the opportunity to get to know Al here recently, and he was a heck of a guy. So he will be missed. We want to wish Mr. Arcinko a speedy recovery and a want to wish everybody a happy Easter and a happy Passover this month. So with that, I'd like to seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you and good night.